What up, my fellow dorks? The Turtle Dork here with a new reaction for you. So I'm dropping a couple of videos here. I know they've been spread out, man. I tell you, just full-time jobs, life just kind of gets in the way. So I kind of try to get to these videos when I can, but I definitely haven't forgotten about the page. So believe me, if it may come late, but it's still going to come. But with that being said, this one did drop today, so I wanted to make sure I got this one done on time. And this is Death Wish. I've been hearing a lot about Death Wish. Actually, been hearing about this movie for a while. Directed by Eli Roth and starring Bruce Willis. Now, my man was attached to this, Joe Carnahan, for a long time. And I think he had some issues, creative differences with the studio. I think they wanted to take this film in a different direction. And of course, I love Joe Carnahan and what he does with his films. And I think that he would have did something really unique and interesting with the story of Death Wish that we know from with the Charles Bronson films. So I don't want to pass judgment, but let's check this out first. I had some issues with the casting of Bruce Willis for certain reasons. I don't know if it's necessarily going to fit or if it could be a good fit. It could be, because Bruce Willis, man, he can, he can pull some performances out his ass if he decides to wake up and try. So let's see if this is one of those performances. So let's go ahead and check out this first trailer for Death Wish.
Sway in the morning, Shade 45. We gotta talk about what's happening in Chicago. Everybody's watching this viral video. This guy in the hoodie, they're calling the Grim Reaper. He stopped the carjacking. Is he right for taking the law into his own hands? He's become a folk hero. What about the shooter?
He looked like a white dude.
What if you're emergency? There's men are breaking into my house. I think they're here. No.
I failed to protect him. The men who did it are out there. So there's nothing that you can do? Is that what you're saying?
If a man really wants to protect what's his,
I want to buy a gun.
he has to do it for himself.
We're closed, pal.
Who killed my wife? Who else was there?
I don't know anything else.
I believe you, Joe. So you're not gonna kill me? No. Jack is.
Oh.
You got caught in some crossfire?
The ice cream man done it.
The ice cream man?
Can't walk to school if you don't work for him.
Who are you? Your last customer. You're not a cop. Somebody has to do it.
You're cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
I'll see.
They called him a guardian angel. He saved my life. You look much better getting out socializing.
Not so much.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Okay. I will.
Screenplay by Joe Carnahan. They still gave him credit. I don't know if that's true or not. Wow. Okay. Not what I was expecting from this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. From what I remember about Death Wish, especially the first Death Wish film, this was the Charles Bronson film in the mid-70s, I think, is that he was supposed to be more of like a mild-mannered type of, like kind of everyday man, everyman. And then this happens to him, and this tragic thing happens to his family, and then he takes it upon himself to kind of take justice into his own hands, and he becomes like this vigilante. But I think a lot of what worked about. Now, I don't really know like the career of Charles Bronson. I know Charles Bronson was a badass, but at that moment, or in that period where Charles Bronson made the first Death Wish, maybe he kind of felt like an everyman. He kind of felt like that middle-aged, mild-mannered person. The thing that I usually have a problem with, and I fear with Bruce Willis, was that because of his persona, especially with all of these action movies, he has that pedigree of an action star. So it's not really going to play right, especially if you're trying to tell. And again, it doesn't even look like the studio wanted to go in that direction. But if you were going to go into that more interpersonal, kind of intimate, character-driven, introspective look at the character of a man, of a broken man losing his family and taking it upon himself to become a vigilante, Bruce Willis didn't seem like a good fit. There were a couple people I thought could have fit. I mean, not necessarily that I would have wanted them to be cast, but somebody, if you want to go like me, middle age, like the Wilson brothers, like Owen Wilson or Luke Wilson. Even if you went older, somebody like a Bill Murray. I mean, yeah, that sounds funny, but if you think about somebody like that type, that archetype, and then you really make a more intimate, character-driven story about a man losing his family and then him taking it upon himself to take justice into his own hands, that would have been an interesting film. With Bruce Willis, for me, I don't know. And then especially the way this trailer plays, when that music kicks in, it definitely feels like it's just another action film. I don't know, man. Like I mean, I know there's a lot of people probably looking forward to this. Maybe, I don't know. If they're out there, let me know. But this was my fear. This was my fear about this film. Now, I don't want to pass judgment. Maybe I'll go into this like I went in with the last couple Die Hard movies and just say, look, take the name off of it and just go into this like maybe like a good, matinee B-movie, action, thriller, whatever the case may be, and take the Death Wish name off of it, and maybe I can enjoy it and have fun with it. I like Bruce Willis, even though he's kind of mailed it in a couple of times, but maybe this is a film I can still have fun with. But attaching the name Death Wish to it and what that means for like the previous original films with Charles Bronson, it just doesn't work for me. And I'm not saying that Bruce Willis can't play an everyman. I mean, you look at him in some of his films, I mean, you think of something like Unbreakable. And that's the type of storytelling I was hoping to see in this, where we got something that was more character driven. Unfortunately, this looks like it's just going for kind of like that fun, action packed, kind of spectacle, studio fluff. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. I don't want to get into a rant, and it's not meant to be a rant. Just things that the concerns I had about this, and I'm not claiming to be the biggest Death Wish fan, but I don't know. I guess I'm a huge Joe Carnahan fan, and when I heard he was attached to this, and that he left because of creative differences, I would have liked to have seen his take on this. And I know, looking at this trailer, I could almost guarantee this was not the film that Joe Carnahan was going to make. He was going to do something a little bit more gritty, a little bit more personal, a little bit more intimate. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Go ahead and let me know what you thought of the trailer in the comments below. Go ahead, rate, like, subscribe, and share. And go ahead and check out my other dorks at MouthDork, at TheDiscoDork, and at Sidewalk Siren. And as for me, I am the Turtle Dork. And with that, your boy is out.